to share with you guys how I finally fixed the issue with the Squirrel Census data and get it to render properly within Tableau. Here is sort of what the end result looks like, and for those who are familiar with the geography of Manhattan, this is smack dab right there in Central Park. In fact, pretty much. Okay, so let me show you what it took. But before that, let me explain to you there the issue with the file itself, the Squirrel data file itself, and that's why it took a while for this to work. And frankly, I was very surprised that Tableau wasn't working. So it turns out it's not Tableau's fault, rather it's the CSV file itself. So let's open up the CSV file and I'll show you what the issue was. Okay, so I'm opening up the CSV file, and if you open it up in Excel, by default it shows you this view, which is kind of hard to read. So what I tend to do whenever I have a jumble of these columns like this in a raw data set, I just insert a table. So it's just complaining that it's read-only. I'm just going to make it convert it. I don't have a desktop app, so I'll just convert it. And then I'm just going to like position myself in the upper left corner, the very first cell, and I'm going to insert a table. And leave the default option checked because my table does have headers, and that's important. I want to pick that up. So this will convert this whole thing into a table structure that is easier to move around and easier to read. So the place I want you to draw your attention to is this X and Y. Supposedly, whenever you write geolocations, you write latitude first and longitude next, right? So this supposedly is the latitude and this is the longitude. Well, no one will know unless you call it lat and long. X and Y will not help you. Now, in the file itself, there's a column at the end where it says latitude and longitude. And notice latitude is -73 and longitude is 40. And if it corresponds to this latitude and longitude, you see. So, and this particular data point, it's throwaway, but it's in the format it's expected to be. Everything would have worked had it been that this indeed was the latitude and this indeed was the longitude, but that's not the case. So to explain that, let me write this out. Central Park coordinates. Okay. The first coordinate you see is latitude is 40 and the longitude is 73. So the problem in the data file is that they're in reverse order. This is not latitude, this is not longitude, and neither in this point over here is this correct. So one thing we can do right away is you can just write this as longitude and this as latitude, and if you want you can throw away this last column altogether. In fact, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to delete this column towards the end, and now I'm going to save this file. So I'm going to just click on file and I'm going to export this as a CSV file, and I'm going to export this. It got exported here, but let's give it a different name. Let's call it 2018 fixed squirrel data. Okay. Now, just to be sure I have the right data, I'm just going to open it up. Let me just like space bar it. Longitude, latitude. Okay, it has been fixed. Good. Now, instead of using the file that we were using in class, we are going to use this modified updated file. Okay, the only thing is x and y, this has been made into longitude and this latitude, and I simply deleted that last column data that was there. We don't need it. So now we're going to switch over to Tableau, and I'm going to start fresh. So I'll go to File, New. So let's start with a new instance of Tableau. I'm showing you how to do this from scratch. File recovery. No, I don't want to open up anything else. So let's start with this one. So this is a brand new workbook. Whenever you work on a document in Tableau, it's called a Tableau workbook, I guess. So I'll connect to the data source, and in our case it's a CSV file. I could have saved it in Excel and imported, but in our case it's CSV, so I'm just going to go. This is the file, 2018 fixed squirrel data.csv. I'm going to open this up, and now if we go to the sheet view, which is already open for us to see, you will see that latitude and longitude have already been, like, it's now being marked as global. So now if I take the longitude here, well, this is not the way to work on it. We are not there yet. I just need to do one more thing, which is I have to create a calculated field. I was showing how to do that in class. I'll show that again. So the way to create a calculated field is you can just go over here, create a calculated field. Okay, let's call this geolocation. Okay, and then oops, I didn't complete it. Let's go edit that again. It's not complete. So geolocation, there's a little arrow over here. Click this, and then the function that you're going to pick is make point. This, given, if you read the description, given in latitude and longitude information, it can convert it into a geo point, that a spatial object basically, that Tableau can work with. So I'm going to put in the latitude and the longitude. So this is going to be read directly from our database. So you can apply, the calculation is valid, and then say OK. Now you will notice that geolocation has a world, like a globe symbol. Now we finally have something that we can use. Okay, and if you go to the data source and go to the if you scroll horizontally towards this, you see that geolocation, these are points now. Okay, this is a calculated field that I just added. Now what we'll do is we'll go to sheet 1. If you don't have one, you can create one, and then drag this geolocation right over. Yeah, you can drag it in the sheet, and that's all you need to do. Automatically it will pick this world this world view 1. There are 2 of them. We'll talk about the differences later, but this is what gives you what we were looking for. Now what it's doing is it automatically figured out where to place the longitude and the latitude. It does that automatically, you don't have to do it. And then it uses this special function, collect get geolocation, to populate these points. So basically what it's doing is, given a location, it collects data points that's closest to it, and so you can see density as well. Now one thing I want to show you guys is, in the original data, if you guys remember, these things like moles or quas or eating, they're either true if the squirrel, each row represents one squirrel. So if that squirrel is like, for example, like take this one. This particular squirrel is above ground and it is chasing. Chasing is set to true, right? So let's go back to sheet, And if, let's say, you want to see the squirrels over here that are, let's say, climbing, and I put it in the color. Now, climbing through, the orange ones are the squirrels that are in a climbing state, like based on the data. Okay, and let's say you want to see the squirrels that are eating. Okay, drag this and take it to color, and all the yellow ones, the amber ones, are eating. So this overall is how I was able to fix it. So it was a multi-step process where we had to fix the data. So the issue over here was really fixing the data first, and then within Tableau, create the calculated field, which is the geolocation, and you can edit this. This is how we created this calculated field. Okay, so hopefully this gives you an idea on how to work with this. I'm going to save this file, the Tableau workbook, and send it along with the recording so you guys can take a look at it. All right? Okay. Take care.